Hi everyone. Sorry for the quick delay. I had to face some totally crazy issues. And how's everyone today? And how's my voice and video? Everything good? So today will be a bit of a mix of both front end and back end. That is what we are planning to do today. And it will be like really awesome in this case. And because we will be kind of like looking into a lot of different stuff that we will be doing. So there will be kind of a totally cool learning stuff as well. So we have got Sundar Pichai on the thing as well. So on the chat as well. Hey, Sundar Pichai, how's everything at Google? Okay, so we have Alicia. Hey, Alicia, welcome to the team. And Alicia is going to join my MLH hack team, and it's going to be super cool. We have Akhil. Akhil, have you seen all the previous episodes, by the way? So it's the day 5 today, and I had already done 5 different episodes from day 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So have you seen those things? Prerequisites, I don't think much you need. Everything will be like very simple, and we'll start with the basic stuff. Yes, happy 23rd birthday to Google. So great. Yeah, how was the celebration in the office, Sundar? I hope it is going great. All right, super cool. So today we will be looking into the front end part of everything, and we'll try to do something really cool in this case. And it will be using React, obviously. And let me open up my full stack application on the screen. And today is day 5, right? So here's what we will be doing today. So we'll be creating a UI with Bootstrap for registration and login. We'll try to build the UI for registration errors, login errors, and finally logout. So this way we will be able to kind of like register and log in and sign out. So all these things can be done. We will also look into this part. I'm not sure if we can do something on this. Because today will be a bit of a smaller day. Sorry about there was a small incident or an accident that happened in my house, and that's the reason I'm late as well. So to sum up everything, whatever we have done so far, we have been working on backend for all these days for about like 5 days of 5 hours, and then this time it is going to be front end, and it is going to be using React. Let me start the server and npm start. So this will be running the server. I can make a small, like a same thing here. So I'll put client, and I'll do npm start as well. So here it's gonna start the client. So it starts the development server, and boom, something needs to happen. Okay, so we have got community classroom. One thing which I saw here is, before that, let me have a quick look at the YouTube chat. How many of you are here? Okay, same number of people. Hi. So let's go ahead. Let's continue. So the first thing that we will be, the thing which I saw yesterday was, there are something called as Bootstrap themes. Okay, so it's not the Bootstrap themes kind of a thing, but they are like boot swatch. So this is like different colors, different things, something like that. So if you have a quick look at this one, all of them have only a simple extra CSS, but they look totally different. So it is like technically Bootstrap themes. So I really like this Lux, and there's also Morph. There are like so many super cool themes. There is this quads as well. It's like a glass morphic layer. Nice. Slate looks good. Sketchy looks actually cool. Really cool. Look at these things. Should we go with Sketchy by any chance? I guess Kunal will shout at me like anything for going with Sketchy or something like that. Right? So what is your ideas on these things? So, oops, I guess I missed something. What's up with me? What's it, Pranav and Alicia? Okay, how many of you are looking at this for the first time? This is so super cool, right? So we have got so many things like this. Yeah, so I guess I'll go with which one is that? Lux. Lux seems to be really nice. Or let's see how we can just look at the Lux. The nav bars look really cool. Buttons look really nice, etc. So how do I download it? So if I click on the download, it is going to go for a min.css. So this is the boot swatch, and all we need is just this file alone, I believe. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Okay, this is interesting. Do we have Bootstrap already in this, or is it just the Bootstrap min along with all these things? I'm not sure what is there in this one, but in worst case, I'm just going to copy this whole thing, and I'm just going to see if I can host it somewhere else. It's okay. I'll just add it to the list of things here. So what I'm going to do is inside the styles, or maybe in the public folder, I'm going to create a new file, or this is the easiest way I can do. I'll just open this Bootstrap and put it inside the public folder. So here we have got this one. So all I need to do is after this bootstrap.min.css, I can also add one more link that says bootstrap.min.css. I don't know whether this is going to work as we expected. Okay, looks like it works. So if I kind of like remove this part, so even this gives you the same output, which means this obviously has got the Bootstrap thing as well. So that's cool. So what about our changes? We are not able to find our changes right now. So if I try to change everything, like for example, if I go to let's say index.css, and if I try to do something like important here, I still don't get this. Is it really changed, or what is exactly happening here? Oh yeah, it is actually changed. So this is the correct thing that we are actually using. So that's cool. So if I go back to my index and try to get rid of this one, like try to change this to revert it back to what it was before, and save it. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, that's interesting. So it did have something, but something is not the same. Like there is something else that is happening here. Okay, let's have a quick look at what exactly is the font family and other things. So this is perfect. I guess the font weight would have been the changed one. So this is coming from the nav bar. So what we will do is let's go back to our index header, and the nav bar brand, we can give font weight as 100 or something like that, or 300. I'm actually not sure what it was before. Okay, that is weird. Okay, so what we will do is let's try to see what it was before, and then we'll try to change it to what it was before. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a undo here. So let's refresh this one. Okay, it was like this. So this one, the font weight is 400. Let's save it and go here. Let's make it font weight normal. I don't still get that particular effect anyway. I guess it should be something with the letter spacing. Yes, there you go. So we have got this kind of a thing. So this is boot swatch, and this is really cool to add some new themes or templates to already existing Bootstrap, which is what I wanted to show you today. Okay, what is the difference between Bootstrap and Bootswatch? Okay, so Bootstrap is the basic library, right? Getbootstrap.com. Everything is there in the Bootstrap library. And Bootswatch is the color themes. So it's a free themes for Bootstrap. So what they have is they just have a CSS file and replace the one in Bootstrap, nothing else. There is nothing else that has gone wrong or something like that. So that's all is there. And you get all these different themes for the Bootstrap. It's just the color themes. All the color themes are changed in case colors, and the fonts are actually changed in the skin. So for example, if you take 80 and all, that 80 has got totally, okay, there are like these many files. So in case of like Lux, this is what we are using. This is the bootstrapmen.css, this bootstrap.css, variables, and bootswatch.css. These are the things that are changed in this. Okay, cool. So coming to this, any other questions? So we'll be building just like we'll be building the login screen and the registration screen. So we'll be using a 2-column layout here. So what we will do here is in the app.css, sorry, let's close all these things. We just made some changes. So we added this one, we added bootswatch. Okay, so added bootswatch Lux, so that it doesn't actually look like a Bootstrap theme. Okay, so added a Bootstrap theme using bootswatch colors Lux. Okay, and then we are going to create the UI for Bootstrap with registration and login. So the first thing that we will be doing is, let's go into the app.js. So this is where the header is added. So we want something like inside the container, we'll make the container fluid, or like, okay, we don't want to make the container fluid. We have a row inside it, and with the row, we have 2 columns called 6, because it's going to be 2 columns. So left column, right column. So if I save this one, you could see that there is a left column here and there's a right column here. So that's how this works. So you understand this one, right? The whole width of the thing is like 12 column way, 12 grid way, and we have got 6 grid for the left side and 6 grids for the right side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have our like we would be having our states and other things. So here is going to be the login screen, and here is going to be the registration screen, something like that. So what we will start with is we need some components from Bootstrap itself, and we'll be using them. So for now, what we have done is created 2 columns for login and registration. So instead of doing this way, let's go inside this. We'll put login, registration, something like this. Okay, and I'll add this. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do now is we'll be using the card. So I'll go with React Bootstrap helpers or Bootstrap React helpers. So I'm just going to give this link here. Hey Afnan, how are you? So what we are going to do is we will be looking at what all things that we can steal from this one. So we have got card element. We want this card. So let's copy this card element. And I don't think we need to import React from React anymore. So if we go to header as well, even in the header, we could actually avoid it. In app, we don't need React. Removed unnecessary React imports. So this was made as redundant in a later version of React. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to create a new file called card.js. and then in the card, I'm going to add this one. Okay. So now we have got this card thing. Okay. So created a card element, bootstrap card element. Okay. Now, if we go to our index or app.js, here you have the login and here you have the registration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the card element here. But should I do it here or should I do it in another place? That is the question. So what I'm planning to use two different components for this. So it will be a login component and will be a registration component. So what I'm planning to do is let's create two components. This is the home screen, right? So I'm going to create a new file called home/login.js, and I'm going to save this as again register.js. Okay. So now if we have login, we have register. So since I told you that we will be using the things to different. Sorry, what is different? Pranav? Okay, let me know if you did not understand something. Okay, let's continue. So we'll be creating two different components here. They are all class components again, or should we go with functional component? I'll go with functional components just to have the error message here. But even functional component, okay, we'll just go with functional component. We'll think of other errors and other things later. So two functional components are done now. So I'm going to get rid of this React thing. And let's go back here. Let's make this as .login. Oh, sorry, .register. And we have here as .login. Okay. So we have got these two things, right? So here I'll just save these two files. And then in this app, I'm going to import them. So it's going to be login. And this here is going to be register. Okay, cool. So now we have created skeleton for both login and register. Right. Questions? Separating components. Yes, that's correct. Got it. So the next thing that we will be doing here is we are going to use this card component, and then we'll be putting those card component in these two places. So inside the register, inside the login, I need the card component. I'll import the card component from my home page because I'll be using the card component multiple places. So I'm going to do card, add this card, and then I'm going to give these two guys card. Okay. So we have got this card. Now this card will have a lot of things to do. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is let's go back, copy this, paste it here, save it. So you see something that is completely dull here. Okay. So this particular card.js will take image alignment. We don't want image. We have a header. Let's try to add a header here. Register. The same way, we'll add a header in the login as well as sign in. We can even use sign in and sign up, but let's see. So we have got sign in and register here, which is cool. Actually, that looks really nice. So cool. So we have got card. This card is going to not close self. So we'll be using a normal closing thing. Okay. So now we need forms. Okay. So before that, we need some text as well. So in this one, we have a title, we have a text. So let's try using text. If you please use this form to register for a new account. Then we can do the same thing here. If you already have an account here. Okay, so this looks really cool, right? So there is a sign-in form, there is a registration form. Inside that, we need to add the forms. So added a card component, added card component for both. Cool. So now we have got these things done here. Okay, so the next thing is the form element. So for all the forms as well, I have got something. So we have got card element, etc. Okay, seems like we don't have a form. Interesting. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just go with this one. Let's try to find out the notes app. So GFG notes app draft. This is actually the best thing I would ever say. So let's go to the SRC folder. There are components, there is forms, there's this form group. This is one of the best form group components I have ever seen. So I'm just going to copy this one and I'll be creating a form group component here as well. So let's try to create it quickly here. So I'm just going to add. So we have got the card element in the second level and all these things are headers, forms, form group, for all the input based, based elements, we have a form group component here. Okay, so if we see the preview, it's going to show us this part. So this is the forms, and inside that we have a form group component, which looks good. And we can even do the show diff, and we can see that these 3 lines have been added. Okay, so this is not the right way to do this. Sorry about that. I should be using React and should be putting an enter here. So right. So if we go down, we could see that for all the input based elements, we are using this one. Okay, so this provides a form group component. Added a form group component. Okay, so now what we will do is we'll just take this form group and create it on our application as well. So these are all bootstrap based ones. So that's why I'm not stressing up a lot on this. So this has the ID label on change, default value on click. So on change is the thing, then checked and default check, value and default value. Those kind of things will work for both radio and all these things. So that's going to work with a small description as well. So let's create implemented form group component, and let's add this here. So now what we are going to do is let's go back to here. There's no difference here, right? So let me quickly come to our I guess sign in or sign up or login or register would be a good pair. Yes, that's correct. And we have got sign in or register. I'm sorry about that. I'll just put it as login then. It should be login. Fixed the naming convention. Cool. So now it should show login or register. Excellent. Now we need the forms. So what we are going to do is let's go with the forms. And so if you see here, we can see that this is a form group, right? So any kind of thing like normal forms. So this seems to be a form group. So what have we got in the form group? So it just says form hyphen group. I don't think there is any form hyphen group. here. Oh, wow, cool. This seems to be an older version of the form groups, but still we will just go with that. So we need kind of like a margin bottom 3 or something like that. So let's use a margin bottom 3, updated form group to BS 5.1.1. Yeah, these kind of things we need to keep on doing. So I will check it out. So the repository is based out of the old version. So I guess we need to do a lot of changes in that. All right. So next thing is, so what all things that you need for login, what all things that you need for register. So first thing that you really need for both login or register is you need to have a form. Okay, so let's have a form, and we don't have anything else in this. So let's get rid of this form action. And then finally, we have the button type submit as well. Okay, so we'll just use the button type submit class btn primary. And instead of submit, we'll put register the same way. Let's go ahead, save it. In our login.js, we're going to put login. Cool. So now if you see here, oh my God, that's a huge button, by the way. So if you see in the normal way, it looks okayish. So let's use this huge way itself, like 150%. And right, any questions so far? Okay, cool. No questions. Right, let's start with something simple. So we need, okay, again, I was asking you all about what all the different components that we will be using for login and register, right? So now I'm just thinking of something, right? So what if we have a couple of things, like for example, for okay, let's go with this. Our backend users.json. So we have got, if I try to save this once, we'll be having name, password, role. Verified will not come. Username. Okay, so username, full name, password, username, password, full name, and role. These are the 4 things that are required for registration. Okay, so let's close this. Let's just close it and let's revert this back. All right, cool. So registration, sorry, username, password, full name, and role, right? So what we will be doing here is we want these things for our login forms. Let's use a state. Okay, the state will have both login, register, and we might have errors. That has login, register as well. We have forms, which has this one. Okay, something like this. We got the empty state for all these things. Okay, so login form will have so this one is a error, right? So we can just make it as an array. And this one is the list of forms. So this will have username, password as the main things. And this will contain these 2 along with full name, the last one is role. Cool. So these are the different things. So we just added the state object for the forms. Okay. Added state for the forms. Login and register. Now in this login and register, we just added a simple form content. form content for both login and register. Okay, now what we will be doing here is so the forms will be using forms.login, and for the errors we'll be using errors.login. Okay, so this is what we will be doing. So we need to have forms and errors. So forms errors, correct? Forms errors. Okay, so this is how these are props of this particular component, and these props will be fed by the parent component where we have got here, and we'll give forms equal to this dot state dot forms dot login. Then we have errors, this dot state dot errors dot login. Okay, the same way we are going to copy these two things and we'll be putting it on this. So now there seems to be some issue. What did I mess up here? Okay, so instead of login, you should be giving register. The same way, there should be register as well. Okay, so now this particular form needs to be filled up. So far, did you get any? Do you have any questions? Wouldn't be kind of stick with the user? Don't you think it should be like an input field in login? Okay, I did not understand, Pranav, what you mentioned, but let's wait and watch. So what we are going to do now is we are going to generate the forms. So far we have sent the data from send the form and error data from app to pages. Okay, so that is what we have done. Now we don't want this app, we don't want this card. We will just directly dive into this one. So what we are going to do now is, what is this forms? Forms is an object, right? So object.keys forms. So this will have the keys of the object. So the one which we need to change. So we are going to map stuff here. Okay. So what we are going to map, this is going to be the values or something like that. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, with this one here, we will try to generate the form group here. So let's put FG. This is the one of the form groups. So I'm going to do form group, and I'll be giving this as a so the first thing that we need is the ID. So form group ID is going to be FG. Key is also going to be FG. So something like this. Now the problem here we might get is both. Look at this. We already got this. Let's also put a label, which is FG. So you got username and password here. If you just copy the same thing on the register page, look at this. Same code. I get username, password, full name, role, right? Questions? Oh, yes. Now I understand what you are trying to say, Pranav. So it will be a drop-down menu, to be honest. Okay. We'll be changing this into a drop-down menu. Right. We don't have a select option here. So that's the reason we will be using a drop-down menu. And well, we have some couple of issues here. So this one, username and password, right? We need to do something totally in a different way. So let's go to app.js again. So we have got username. We need to also change this username into login user, login password. instead of here, we can actually do it in a better way. So what we will be doing here is, in our register page, the ID will have reg on it. The same way, I guess one thing it would be enough, because this is gonna have all these things. So if I try to inspect it and see, we will be getting as reg password, name, reg password, all these things will be in regs. Okay, cool. So the next thing that we are going to do now is, we just got our things here. The only thing that we need to work on is, we should be getting rid of the role, which should be technically a drop down menu. So for drop down menu, what we are going to do is, oh, before that, type. We forgot the type. So type is going to be, if this FG is password, then it's going to be password, else it's going to be text. Okay, so what we are going to do is, type key and label will copy, put it on the thing here. There's only one thing that we copied, actually, to be honest. So now if I type the username works, password becomes password, full name and role, everything works fine. So I don't need the role as well. So we need to do something for that. Added password stuff. So again, we need to do one more thing as well here. So if we go to the app, password, along with that conf pass, we need one more thing as well. So we have got password and conf pass, so that these two things should be same as well. Got it? So now in our login, what we can do is, in our, so let's add this one. You can just make it as confirm password. Anyway, we are not going to send this anywhere, so we can make it as confirm password and added confirm password, and we've got a huge form for the registration purpose. Any questions so far? Hey Bunty, Arya, sure. Let's talk in LinkedIn. So just connect with me on LinkedIn, and then you can ask me any questions that you might have. Okay. Thank you. Cool. So let's go ahead. So we have got, so far we have got these things, but these are not connected components. So what have we got so far here? So we tried this one. Make all the components as connected components, then create a submit handler for the forms. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the. Okay, cool. So let's quickly fix this part. Okay, we do have this form group here. Oh, sorry, not form group. Sorry, what is this? The this one here. So we have got a register. We should not have the forms. Okay, so what we will do is const updated forms. So what we are going to do is, this is gonna be like form elements. It's gonna be dot forms and delete form elements dot role. Is it role? Yep. So now if I save this, nothing has happened. Okay, because we haven't used this one, so we'll be using form elements. Now the role is gone now. So what we can do here is, another thing that we will be doing here is, let's go back to our app.js, get rid of this confirm password. So only 3 things are coming up, right? Removing confirm password for a better version. Okay. the thing that we are going to do now here is this forms. So instead of form element dot role, what we are going to do is form elements. I don't know how I'm going to write. I need to add one after the password really. So anyway, so now for the role part, we need to write a select element. So this should have all these things. So if we go for the select, we have the select here. Something like that. And then we have options that 3. And the first option will be student and mentor, right? So let's go back to our users.json and role. We might have, there is mentor, there is student, I guess. So we have only one person here. Like, yes, there is only one person. Weird. Okay, so let's go with student, mentor, and then let's save it. So we could see, okay, fine. This one needs to be perfectly given like the form element. So if we go to the form group, or what this thing does is like it has to go have this one, div. Then we have a label. So that the label for role, then this is going to be role, and we have a role. Sorry about this. Yep, we have a role, and if you click on this, it becomes a student or mentor role. Okay, cool. So we have got all these things now, and yep. So added. I guess that's it. Added the role part of the registration. Cool. So for any questions that you have got, maybe a GitHub link after password. What do you mean by GitHub link? Like, do we need, okay, that's one of the part of the socials, right? So once they get into their first time logging in, at that point of time, maybe we can do all these things. So when you start for the first time, you know that your GitHub, all these profiles are like null values, right? So at that point of time, we will be showing them the profile link and stuff like that. Okay, I get it. So we'll be doing it in the first screen, like first starting screen or something like that. We'll be good getting that one. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. So now we have got these two pages. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to make them into a connected component. So create a submit handler for the forms, and we need to make them as a connected components first. So how are we going to make them a connected component? Since we are also giving the values and other things, so here value is going to be forms of FG. Okay, that is going to be the value of it. Okay, so right, this is going to be the value. On change is something that we will be doing. So that thing is going to be the connected component here. So what we need to do now is we have to go back to our app.js. That is where all the forms and everything is being stored. So handle form change is going to have which form, which name, value. Okay, so there are three things that's going to happen here. So this dot set state we will use. So set state will be like forms forms will have all these, this dot state dot forms, and we have our login and other things, right? Interesting. So that's the form. So we'll have this form as form. Wait, in a better way, I can do const forms equal to dot 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 this dot state dot forms, and I can update this forms value. Like, I don't think we can do this because this is not this is a pure copy. So, but anyway, let's go ahead with this. Forms of form of name is equal to value. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, and let's set the status forms. So anyone, did you understand what we did here? Handle form change part. Please tell me if you are not able to understand it. Hey Itasha is here. Hi. Okay, I'll show you what exactly this does. I don't know whether this is going to work, but let me try. So this handle form change is gonna go into these two guys. So I'm just gonna put handle form change equal to handle form change, and this needs this dot handle form change. So created a handle form change event. It's actually an event listener, but let's put it as event. What did I do actually? Okay. So in that case, what I'm gonna do is git ca event listener. Okay, so finally I just made the change. Cool. So the next thing that I'm gonna do here is, we don't need the form group anywhere. So all these things look good. Sorry, I'll just put my face somewhere else. So yeah, I've hidden my face. So now you can see this page, right? So this looks really cool. And thank you, Itasha. I hope it looks good. Okay, so here what we are going to do is we are going to update this form values. Okay, before that, I wanted to show you what is there in the okay, this is the row, right? So let's put another row, call 12 pre dot bg light border rounded p3, something like this. Okay, so if I put json dot stringify and add this dot state null comma 2, something like this, you could see that this is what is happening. bg light is not coming up. Why? There's no background, right? See? No. This is because of this particular background. Damn. Shouldn't have used it. bg black. Nope. bg body. Okay. bg wide and light are the same, is it? Nice. Excellent. What crazy thing they have got it now. Okay, if I use bg black and bg opacity 10, oh, that looks nice. So I'm just going to use that bg black, bg opacity 10. It's going to go show me like this. Okay, so we have got something like this. Okay, so we have got forms, everything is here. So if I type something, nothing will happen right now. Okay, so this is a just a debug thing. So showing use the pre-tag to show the debugging of states. Something on this part. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is in our app.js we sent this handle form change, right? So handle form change will be included in these two things. Okay, so if I open this here, so after the errors, I'm going to put handle form change. Same way, I'm going to put handle form change. Okay, so let's save these two things. Now for the handle form change on change, okay, or else if we are not, actually we could do it here. Okay, on change. By the way, I actually added the values here, right? Now I don't think I will be able to, for the register. See, I won't be able to change any values here. Even if I type something, it won't work. The reason is these values are locked with this. So the same thing I'm going to do here as well. So values is equal to form of fg. So now I won't be able to change anything here as well. So these are the first initial steps of connected components. Nice one, Itasha. Okay, cool. See, we don't know what's going to happen. Like he could be the real Sundar Pichai as well. We don't know. But as long as he is here, we are happy. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So we have added the handle form change. So every time when this form content changes on change, we need to do a handle change. Okay. So handle change, we'll create a handle change. Const handle change is a function that has an event. Okay, so that's what we will be doing here. So the same way, let me have this handle form change, handle change. And in this one, I'm going to put handle change. The same way here for the form on change, handle change. Cool. So now what does handle change have in it? So if I try to do window dot alert, if I do e dot target dot name and value, if I say G here, it says first rig username and it shows G here. Cool. That is something which I was looking for. Okay. So if I change this dot replace reg with nothing and save it. So if I G username G. Okay. So something like this actually works. So what I need to do is, if you see in app.js, we have got this particular username and thing inside the register. So if you see this handle form change, it is the form, name, and value. So the first thing that I would be trying to call is handle form change. First thing is the form, which is the register form. Next one is the name, which is this one. Third one is the value, which is this one. Okay, let's see what actually happens if I do this for both of them. Okay, both the things I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, let's see. Now we have, look at it, look this one here carefully. We have forms here and we have these things here. Okay, before that, I want to go to the index.scss, and if you have a pre-tag, font family should be, let's do monospace. And font weight, let's do 600. Nope, normal. Yeah, that looks better. Font size 1.2. That looks even more better. Okay, now you have got all these forms, right? If I put hello, you could see that in the registration form, I could just get HELO, whatever I'm typing here, it is actually going there. Okay, so that is the problem that it actually gets into. So we need to do something about it. Okay, I guess I might be completely having no idea what I'm doing. But before that, if I do this, okay, look at this. Whatever I'm doing on the right side, it is actually updating. So I have actually messed up something here. So in simple terms, I'll just go to the login.js and make this as login. So it is working actually, to be honest, it works. So we don't need this name replacing things and all. And then we just save it. Okay, if I put login as Praveen, bam, that works. So this is a connected component. Now I know that what exactly I am looking at. So the forms.login is Praveen, username is Praveen. But here, if I do something like hello or hello world or something like that, it is actually updating the username here in the register page. Did you all understand the concept of connected components now? Yes, Itasha, I just fixed it. So we have made the connected components correctly. So this works. Any questions you can ask me. So now what we are going to do is, now we got all these things in the upper level of this one. Okay, so upper level of the app. So let's go back to our app or index.css. Added pre-styles. Okay. And next thing that we are doing is we have connected the forms as connected components. Let me quickly check prettier width. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, cool. So implemented connected components for pages. Okay, now I have my question as well. So what about this role? Will it correctly work? If I click on student, yes, no, it is not working correctly. So I need to use, okay, so that one did not work correctly. So I need to go to the register screen and give the select name as role, value, oops, sorry, name as role and value as forms dot role. Correct? Yeah, I hope so. Let's see. So if I try to use student here, it's going to work as student here. Cool. Mentor is also working fine. So this one is like a a memory leak. So student, mentor, everything works here. So this is perfectly working. So now we have implemented the connected components for both the pages. Okay, cool. So this is the connected components part, which we did just now. Okay, so the next thing is executing the login and register. Since we are running out of time, what I'm gonna do is I'll better switch to tomorrow. So tomorrow, same time, like 15 minutes earlier, we'll meet again. And I hope today it was really interesting and you all found it easy, useful, or something like that. I'm gonna push all the code. I have already pushed all the code. So yeah, feel free to fork and feel free to give me some suggestions and other things. And let me know if you have any other questions. Put it on the comments and I'll definitely be able to answer you. So thank you and stay safe. Have a nice day and let's learn something totally cool tomorrow. Is anyone here still? Anyone? Just put a message. Yep. Thank you so much, Itasha. Thanks a lot. And see you all tomorrow, same time. Bye.